Hi guys, welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 24th of November 2020. Thanks for joining me. I'm using my deck of cards again, the Gregory Scott Tarot. Let's see what the cards want you to know about Tuesday and what energy you'll be working with on this day. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards here and choose three to see what the day is about and how you can make the most of it. So first card, we've got the Knight of Wands, the Chariot, and Death. Okay. So, first card, the Knight of Wands. It's pretty self-explanatory. We've got a man chopping wood there. Probably not the most fun he's ever had. It's hard work, but he's doing it anyway. So he's got some responsibilities. He knows that he has a job to do and he's doing it for a reason. So there are things in his life that he really cares about. And he realizes that sometimes he has to go through hardship to get what he wants. So he's chopping away there. The Knight of Wands is a court card. He's somewhat in the middle when it comes to levels of experience. So the page really is just figuring things out. He shirks responsibility at times. He doesn't really know what he's doing or what he wants in life. The Knight is trying to find some equilibrium. So he wants to do something that he absolutely loves and adores, and he wants to live his life purpose. I don't know, I guess a few guys in the world, their dream is to chop wood. But what I wanted to achieve with this card is to say that sometimes you've got to face difficulties and continue to work, even if it isn't the ideal circumstance, so that you can get yourself to a position where you can do what you like. So let's say he's got a family that he has to feed. And let's say he really wants to be an actor, okay? He has to pay the bills. He has to make sure that people are taken care of if he's the sole provider. And he does this day job. And by doing this, it actually gives him the freedom to pursue the things that he wants to do. The Knight eventually graduates to being the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is someone who's integrated work and life purpose. So he's doing something that he feels he is called to do. It's something that is part of his purpose. And he finds real joy and meaning and passion in his work. So let's say this guy, he goes for auditions in the evening and he does get the job and he starts becoming a famous actor and he's able to let go of this job because the acting now pays. That would mean he graduates to being the King of Wands because he's doing the acting full time. He's able to feed his family with that job, and it also inspires him and fills him full of creativity. So this card is saying that, sometimes things are a little bit tough and it's okay to keep going even if you don't see the meaning in it or if you don't like everything you do. I remember I read a book by Carrie Fisher, and in it she spoke about how she got into recovery, and one of her friends said to her, do you know what, just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you have to stop doing it. And to her that was like a major revelation. She's like, what? I can do things that I don't necessarily like? And the Knight of Wands is really a good example of that. He's continuing on because he cares, he's got responsibilities. Plus, also this job is going to build up his physique. He's going to get stronger by chopping wood. So you never really know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know what the circumstances you're in right now are all about. And usually hindsight is very helpful. And when you look back on all the stages in your life, you tend to see meaning in the things that you've done and the places you've been. So don't judge your situation too harshly. Keep going, because that leads to the Chariot. And the Chariot is a man who is successful, victorious, and he's rolling on to success. We've got the two lions there representing strength, white and black, good and evil, duality, and he really takes all of it on board. So the difficult circumstances, the good circumstances, he doesn't judge them. All he is interested in is moving forward. What I want to put in this card is the 444. I have that on my social media. And the reason for that is the 444 to me signifies that you're taking action which your higher self kind of dictates to you. Same reason for this triangle pointing downwards. It's information and energy from the higher realms coming down and informing him. And what he then does with that information, he actually implements it and he uses it to progress in his own life. So 444, according to me, is taking divinely guided action. And in my experience, when you do that, or you try to do it, you don't go wrong, because your higher self is always going to guide you. Your higher self is going to say, do A, B, and C and see what happens. Just trust me. There's a reason for this. He's got this purple sash around him, so he's using his intuition to tap into the higher realms. He's got a star on top of his forehead, this crown, and the star symbolizes spirit and mind over matter. So if he has something that he wants to do, if he has an idea, then everything in the world is going to conspire to help him get that done. The Chariot in the traditional tarot represents victory and success and getting what it is you want. And in this deck, it's exactly the same. But it's not just self-will. It's not just saying, I want to do this, therefore I have to do it, and therefore I judge it to be the only right way. No, it's about saying, okay, what am I actually doing with my life? What is the purpose of all of this? I don't know exactly which direction I'm going in. I don't know what's good and bad, and I don't have to know. All I need to do is try and tune in and take responsibility for my life and say, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to keep on going no matter what. So both of these cards are about continuing to move forward without having all of the answers. He has responsibilities and he's doing what he needs to. He doesn't really question it. The Chariot takes it a step further and he's saying, you know what, I do have to move forward with my life. If I don't grow, I'm going to shrivel up and die. So I want to do things that are meaningful. But I've learned through my own experience that sometimes I get myself into positions that I really don't want to be in. Like, I don't have any interest in chopping wood, for example. So instead of rummaging around my own brain and trying to figure out what the exact right thing is, I'm going to appeal to something bigger. And I mean, that sounds very abstract, but it really isn't. It's like going to a guidance counselor and saying, do you know what? I really don't know what to study at college. Can you suggest something I might be good at? And then you take an aptitude test, and the aptitude test will give you certain specific suggestions of what you could study. And that's, in a way, consulting something bigger. That's the wisdom of other people's experience and telling you where you'd slot in nicely. In this case, it's about asking yourself. So you are your own guidance counselor. You are the person who knows you best, and you're going to know how to thrive regardless of your circumstances. And when I say you, I mean the higher self. That part of you that's divine and that's perfect and that's untouchable and that you don't always have access to. And that's why we sometimes have to make a little bit of an effort in meditation or yoga or, I don't know, contemplation to figure things out. Also, we've got him riding away from this town, this city. So he's on his own mission, he's on his own quest. It doesn't matter whether the guy in the tower there says, I think you should be a mathematician. He's not really taking that to heart. He's saying, do you know what? I'm going to get on my own little chariot and I'm going to make it. And then finally, we've got death. And this card, I wanted death to be seen this way as a meadow with flowers. And I wanted it to evoke a sense of peace. Because usually in the tarot, the death card is seen as a grim reaper, as this figure that's supposed to, I don't know, be very alien. And I wanted to express the sense that death, first of all, does give this sense of emptiness and fullness at the same time. So you've got nature here, and by sitting here, I don't know about you guys, but for me, this would be a very peaceful, calm scene. So if I sat here in the meadow, I would feel very much at peace. And it's also an open space where you can add a lot of things into. I mean, you can build whatever you want in this space. We've got the symbol for Pluto here from astrology. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and transformation. And that's really important because you can take this space and you can transform it into whatever you want it to. But the important thing that I wanted to convey as well, that there's a sense of acceptance and peace, and life is the way it is. and everyone has their journey and their story, and you can try doing what you want, and you can try find meaning in your everyday activities. But at the end of the day, there has to be some acceptance of who you are, what you're good at, what you enjoy. And I think that's important if you want to then replace this piece with a new structure that you enjoy. Because let's say you build a hotel on this meadow, it's not going to evoke the same sense of quiet and ease. We're going to have a road with lots of cars, people going in and out of the hotel, and it's a whole different energy. So before you rebuild and before you create new structures in your life, it's important to accept where you are. And it's also important not to judge where you are and to give yourself props for continuing despite your problems, despite your circumstances, and to say, even if I don't get it right today, I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm going to be victorious in the end because I'm trying and I'm asking for help, and I'm doing it in conjunction to my higher self. And I'm going to keep going regardless of what the world tells me or what my lower self tells me, what I did wrong this time. And I'm just going to keep going on and on and on because I have strength. And if I exercise that strength, I'm going to build more muscle, I'm going to build more strength, and I'm going to find it easier to move forward on this path. And eventually, I am going to find meaning. And again, that may not be perfect. And you build a structure that doesn't suit you. And then you have to tear it down. And then you've got that piece again. And you start all over again. And you say, what am I going to do now? So it's this ongoing process. And it's not about perfectionism. It's about really giving yourself the support that you deserve, and about respecting yourself and respecting your journey, and that you are doing the best you can. You may think that at your age, you should be much more successful, and you should have this, and you should have a relationship, and you should have the other thing, but really, who says? It might be your upbringing that's put that thought in your head, or it might be other people in your environment who you compare yourself to. But there's nothing worse than being successful and not being able to enjoy your success. You know, you see these people living in these giant houses and they're miserable, and they say, one day I'm going to live in a palace. And it's like, well, what about your 18-bedroom little cottage that you've got at the moment? How about enjoying that? So you can always be more successful, and you can always get more and more and more. But it's really important to enjoy the space you're in and to just, as they say, enjoy the journey. The court card is a 1. 1 and 7 is 8. 8 and 13 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. And 3 is about communication and new beginnings. So if you want to succeed today, communicate with your higher self. Make a fresh start with something that feels right. And give yourself a round of applause for continuing to try and for embracing the emptiness and filling it with something meaningful so that you can actually end up with a tangible result. So you're doing the best you can, keep going, and don't judge the process. Have an amazing day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe button and share the video online. Someone in the comments yesterday mentioned about this deck and if it's available for order. I was thinking of getting about another 100 cards or another 100 decks from Lo Scarabeo to sign them and to send them out to people who want signed copies. If you're interested in that, then please leave a comment, because I don't really know how much demand there is. Last time I got 200 and those sold out in 24 hours. So that was great, but I don't know if that's met the demand or if we need more. So let me know in the comments so I get an idea. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.